Can you hear me now? All right, good. Just checking. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. This is an unscheduled live talk, but I thought, why not? Live talk would be tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and hopefully 9 p.m. as well, Vancouver time. But I thought we can have a short one maybe tonight, and if I can be of any, answer some questions would be good. So we have Kara here. Kara was here, I guess, no longer here, and we have 7 people here, no likes. I can understand why no likes because there was no sound. Now that there's sound, you've got no excuses. Come on now, click on like. And Patricia is here, says hello. Hello, Patricia. Please let me know the protocols as we always comply with: age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. So if you don't mind, please do that for me so I would know a little bit about you. And definitely, I want to know how old you are, if it's appropriate for you to be here or not. And at the same time, it's important for me to know if you're what your gender is, if you're man, woman, or however you signify your gender. And where you're tuning in from, which country. So at least that gives me a little bit of information about your cultural background. It helps me to be more, relevant to your background. So we have Juan Paisies here, male 25, Costa Rica, Pura Vida Mera. Juanpa, it was your birthday recently, right? And we did say happy birthday then, didn't we? So you're now 25, because I remember it was M24 Costa Rica. Now it's changed. And Sunny Boy is female 17, Italy. Hello, Sunny. So why Sunny Boy if you're female? And Time Chatters or Shatters says, hello, Mehran, male 28, Boston. Thank you for that. Chester from my homeland, Hawaii, my adopted homeland, that is, says, aloha, Mehran, aloha, mahalo. Chester, good to see you here. Good to read your words here, so to speak. Not good to see you here. And Sid Parker says, how do you say positive all the time? How do you stay positive all the time? Like no intrusive thoughts, no anxiety, and no negative emotions. Would love if you make a separate short video on this. Sid, give me your protocol first, because I don't remember. I've got many different Sids that are participants, subscribers, clients on Skype. I just want to see where I would put you, place you, and at the same time remind me of gender, age, and where you're tuning from. And in regards to how do I stay positive, well, first though, I have a video on that. Pretty much anything you guys can think of under the sun, we have a video on that. And the short and the long is, what other choices do we have? If you're not positive as much as you possibly can, within reasons, what other choice do we have? Would be negative? Well, how does that help? And especially today, I had a fall on concrete, which I usually don't fall. I'm not clumsy, but today I look like shit, I have to tell you. And I was in suit and all, so it wasn't really pleasant. But I was in downtown for some business, and this bloody step in front of this high-rise building, I was busy putting my gloves on, I guess, and somehow it was gradual. It was gradually, this step was showing itself from the street level, was coming up and becoming a real estate, and I missed it. I guess I missed it, and I fell. And I usually hold myself, catch my balance, but this thing, I said, "Oh my goodness, this is real! I'm really going!" And so I had to put my hand, left hand, and not the right hand even, left hand. And this took all the weight, and then I rolled. So it's pretty much this palm of my hand was, thank God, I mean, looks like nothing is broken. I did find some kind of a thingy here, but I found it when I came home, so I didn't feel much there. And my knee, they all recovered by the time I got home, but only this is now getting worse, but it's not broken, so there must have been some reason for it. And about the fact that you say, how do you stay positive all the time? Like no intrusive thoughts, no anxiety, no negative emotions. You're talking out of your nose, my friend, because just like any other person, if not more, I have all of it. So, but the thing is, I've had it from childhood. But I didn't label it and I didn't know what it was. In the middle of crying, I would smile just because to see how powerful my brain is. Things, OCD, I had to turn the lights off and on, God knows how many times, wash my hands so many times, say goodnight to my parents, more than necessary, like, good night, Mom, good night, dear, good night, Mom, good night, dear, good night, Dad. When I remember it now, these were all fear-induced, as we talked about it before. When children love their lives, appreciate their lives, their parents, everything good that's going on in their lives, they want that certainty and they want that assurance that this will stay. And they don't know how to get it. They don't find themselves powerful and able to control that end of it and protect that what they love. So they make some kind of a fictitious power out there that is watching itself, which is your own thought watching you, but you think something is aware of you and you want something to be aware of you, like a God, some kind of a protector of some kind. And then you also have these other things that you say, okay, just to make sure, maybe somehow something gets in your head that it would be a good idea if you turn the light on and off to create a balance, and that will make sure everything will go good and your parents won't be hurt, or you won't, or your exam goes right. All these because of that security and certainty that we want. From childhood, from all the time, a million years ago, we've been trying to bring that certainty into life. Because if you know the history, or at least think about it a little bit, about a million years ago, we were like animals, and everything was instinctive. Like an animal, we would just be taking a look. What was the sound in the jungle? What wants to kill us, eat us? This anxiety, this alertness, fight and flight mode was programmed in us so strongly for survival. Now, as the time passed by, and that kind of dangers are not available, but the gene still carries that program and that mandate. So now we're still looking for that certainty. We still have that anxiety for protection. So all of that, especially for some of us who've had maybe ancestors come from a real warrior type, so they had more of this heightened anxiety for protection programmed in there and conditioned. So we carry that still. And so the certainty, the anxiety, the protection, all that somehow gets into the head that maybe if I wash my hands 5 times, maybe I turn the lights off and on, things will be good. Bad agents or bad powers or bad energies will not mystically interfere with the blessings I have in life. So you kind of create this kind of a business dealing, barter deal. I'll do this so you don't harm my family, or this and that. I had all kinds of OCDs. I remember I used to make noise with inside my head, like some kind of a note, a tone, to come to a right tone. I don't know how it was. Since then I've corrected myself somehow, but these were all out of anxiety and fear, and trying to do a deal with whatever it was that we were doing the deal with in our own mind. as a child, trying to bring that protection, bring that. And since you've been conditioned to be a good person, or whether it was to be good in the eyes of God, or be a good person because it is good to be good. So you want to pray for everybody, so you would make sure everybody would be healthy. And my prayers were all long. Like when I would start, if I wanted to pray something good for myself, like, God, please help me to pass this exam. I hope that I'll be, I don't know, do good in my next, I don't know, horseback riding meet or whatever. But you couldn't stop there because you had a good heart. You wanted to have everybody be protected. So you would then extend the prayer to your mother, father, brother, sister, everybody, and then friends, and then all the people, all the good people. Then half an hour later, you're still praying. So all I wanted to say was like, hopefully my exam will be good. So all these would be like, if I don't do this, then I'm not a good person, because you were all conditioned to be a good person and wish good for people and all these good stuff. I had all kinds of things. I remember I was sitting in the bus and I myself had this habit of turning my head maybe 2 times or 3 times to look at something that I've already looked, thinking that if I don't, something bad would happen. But at the time, I didn't know what OCD was. I didn't know what anything was. I just thought, this is superstitious, which pretty much that's what it was. But I didn't label it. And today, anybody who has an intrusive thought, there is a word for it. And once that word is uttered, it's a conclusion. And then everybody thinks about the conclusion, a label, which would be now more difficult to get out of it, because you now figure, this is what I have, as if it's something bad to have, and now I have to remedy it. Then I just thought, that's a weird thought, bad thought. And of course, during lifetime, depending on how much stressful the life would be, or what things would happen, and what needs you have for protection of your children or your spouse or your family or yourself, and every other fear gets into it, anxiety, and they end up having all kinds of other kind of OCDs. Cleaning something 100 times, making sure that you won't take some kind of a dirt or bacteria to home and then cause your child maybe get sick because you brought some kind of somebody coughed and you may not have washed your hand good enough, and you bring it in and the child gets it. So you will feel responsibility OCD. I had responsibility OCD, probably still do. Want to make sure I won't harm anyone. And these things all coming from that whole feeling of certainty and anxiety and security and protection and wanting good for everybody and all that, so forth, kind of a romantic mentality. But what you're telling me here, you think, as I told you before in one of my videos, you think the person that you're actually talking to never experienced intrusive thoughts? As I mentioned to you, everybody and their aunt and uncle on this earth have had intrusive thoughts, or will have intrusive thoughts if they haven't, because it's part of being human being. It's part of having the human brain. It does have those malfunctions. It does have those curiosities as far as creating thoughts, because the brain doesn't know what you are, what you want, this is good or bad, what your gender is or not. Brain just makes thoughts. So it is curious to make thoughts. Can I make thoughts with this? Can I make thoughts with this pen? Can I make thoughts with this paper? It makes thoughts. It doesn't know. It's stupid. Brain is stupid. The ones who think brain is intelligent are mistaken. Brain on its own is stupid. It's a tool. Now, you, on the other hand, have the intelligence. There's a difference between you and the brain. You call the shots. You're like a shopper, goes to a bazaar and is expert to find something, is it good or bad? You can't go in the bazaar and anything they put in front of you, you think, oh, it's a bazaar, whatever they put, must be good quality, must be useful, must be meaningful, I must have it, must be a mandate, I must follow and buy whatever they put in. You don't. You go to bazaar, you select. Brain is like that, it's a bazaar. It makes all kinds of thoughts. But you're the shopper, you're the buyer, you're the owner, you're the master, you're the controller. You are the commander. You choose from all these thoughts in the bazaar. You don't just accept anything that the brain makes. Brain is stupid, is making thoughts based on whatever has entered into our brain, into our consciousness, because every bloody thing and goddamn thing on earth today is presented via some kind of a medium. Every kind of a product and topics. People's personal lifestyle is on TV, discussed, shown. All these unnecessary information about almost anything, and everybody gets access to it. Not that they're looking for it, but it is pushed onto people's consciousness by billboards, by advertisement, by discussions, by publications, by programs on TV, by all kinds of things. Different organizations, different campaign. So one way or another, you're going to get that information that is irrelevant to you into your brain. And brain being something that can be conditioned, once it constantly hears all these things, well, this thing becomes one of the available information in the brain, in the consciousness, that the brain is going to pick up material from and then make thoughts. So it's not like anybody can get away from it. This is a brain, this is the kind of society and environment that we have. And the brain picks up these things and makes thoughts. Makes thoughts out of whatever information find its way to come across our consciousness. So we all have intrusive thoughts, every single one of us. Now, the key is to understand that the brain, thoughts, and you are completely separate. Brain is an apparatus that you sometimes use for what you need to advance, accomplish, learn, calculate, figure out, design, produce. And then brain itself also, unbeknown to you, independent from you, uses its own capabilities, apparatus, its own equipment, tool, to make thoughts. The difference is you know what you want to make it for, and you have a purpose, and you will do it according to what your interest is, but the brain doesn't know shit. It just makes whatever possible to make thoughts out of whatever. Brain doesn't know anything. You see a bicycle, can make all kinds of thoughts out of it. It sees something, some person walking, it can make all kinds of inappropriate thoughts about that person. Now you, on the other hand, are the commander. You're the judge. You're the one have values and moralities that filters these thoughts and chooses them according to what interest you have, if it's proper or not for you, your inclination, your gender, your manners, your morals, your what's meaningful, and so on and so forth. So if the brain comes up with something that is inappropriate or intrusive, you should not be responsible for it, and you should not think there's a meaning for it, and you should not think that describes you or your inclination, if it's sexual or it's my gender. No. OCD brain has a high capability of imagination and association. It's very fast in associating words and thoughts all together. That's why many of these inventors and scientists and the researchers so on have OCDs, because their brain is a little bit one notch higher than the average brain, smarter than most other people. Very meticulous, very capable, very creative, and inventor. Nikola Tesla, one of the most famous inventors in the world. If you don't know it, you've missed something amazing. If he was today, they would call him schizophrenic. He had all kinds of flashes and reactions and so on. So instead of data hunting and putting any meaning to any thoughts that shows up in the brain, in your head, just disregard them. Just understand that it's not your responsibility, and do not go try to make any sense out of it. Just understand that this is one of the malfunctions of we as human beings have to tolerate. Just be smart enough to understand it's got nothing to do with you. Don't go on and go nuts and because there's an intrusive sexual thought of same gender has come to your mind and you're heterosexual, and suddenly you say, oh, because that thought showed up, that means my gender is changing. I've been living in denial. I'm a homosexual now because a thought popped up in my head. Don't do that. Understand how you're put together. Brain is a tool, is an apparatus, is an equipment that you have hired it, somehow has been added to you 40,000 years ago, for you to choose to use it for advancing yourself, creating and doing things with it. But it on its own also does shit. You're not responsible for it. You have many things in your body. You have eyes, you have ears, you have kidneys, you have liver. They all have their own mandates, but none of them are you. There are tools, things that is necessary for you, the you that is in there, to function. If you understand this, you will not be bamboozled and go crazy and have attacks of things. Do not believe this. I have explained in the video that will be uploaded this morning, next morning, tomorrow morning. It's a long video, everyone, but the ones who are interested in understanding the movement of the brain must watch it. It's quite a long one. Part 1 or 2 are together as part 1, pretty much is 58 minutes, and then part 2 is another 13 minutes. Together is 108. I have a full version in one video, all 1 hour and 8 minutes of it. And then if you want to watch it separately, there's part 1, 58 minutes, and then part 2, 13 minutes. It's going to be uploaded. It's uploaded. It will be published 7 o'clock in the morning. And it will explain to you a little bit of some things that you might want to know to understand. The key in dealing with OCD and HOCD and all that is understanding that there is a separation between what the brain produces and what you are. Which means what the brain produces has got nothing to do with you. When you use the brain to make something for your advancements, for your job, for whatever it is you use it, that's your thought. But brain also has its own thought, and you get caught between what the brain does thinking, it represents you. And then when it touches the sexuality topic and all the other feelings that the body reacts to thought, then you go nuts. You think, oh, and I've explained in this video why you trust the brain. Why is it that you think what brain does must have credibility? Watch for that. Now, let's see what we have here, that you guys ask a question and then it goes on for an hour before I get done with it. And so, let's see if Sid responded to my question as far as... okay, I guess I get to it. Well, we have a super chat from our usual supporter of the channel, gracious and generous Carpe Diem. And he says, for my wonderful teacher, Carpe Diem, you always embarrass me, and I appreciate it. You don't have to do that all the time. You're the only one who does that, and that's not fair. At the same time, I simply appreciate it, but I don't want you to feel that you have to do that. And by the way, it reminds me, in fact, I had in mind to mention this, but maybe seeing Carpe Diem here also reminds me. There are a number of people who are, not so many, but there are a few people who are members. And I want to add another perk for the members, which is having a private Zoom meeting So there will be maybe an hour or two on Zoom, but for those people, maximum 10 people. And then we would have enough time to dedicate that to the members. And usually there would be a whopping fee to these sort of things, but I have to figure out what would be fair, that it wouldn't be much at all, just something to cover the cost, but not like the $50 or $100 or something like that. Something that would be making sense, but it would be especially only for the members with the reduced cost for the sort of it's not a one-on-one, but it's an opportunity to discuss it in a smaller group. So we'll figure that out. But you guys let me know what would be the preferred time for that, because we should maybe separate it for United States and Canada, North America in general, so it will be in same time zone, so we can arrange it, and then one for maybe Europe, and then one for maybe later Middle East or something, if we have that many members. I don't think we have that many members anyhow, but this is something that I'm trying to put together to appreciate the people who have become member, so they'll have something more tangible and something that would be like a heavy discount for that kind of a meeting. And maybe later on I will have another Zoom, but then it will be full price for whoever else wants to attend. But it will be something like this, but it would be interaction, would be both sides. I can see you guys and so on. So maybe you guys can give ideas what cost you can afford, the ones who are not members, and the ones who are member would also give me an idea about cost, and at the same time about time that we can put that together. That would be the first time that we can actually have some kind of a meeting that I can also see your faces. Now we have Juan Pa, we talked about it, and Sunny was going to tell me why is it Sunny Boy when it's a lady. And she says, I call my cat Sunny Boy. Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. I get that. Sunny Boy says, I hope your hand feels better. Well, I'm kind of, when I remember it, I can feel the, I can feel something has happened there. But I'm actually surprised that even though I haven't gone to the gym for the past 8-9 months because of the COVID and all that, but looks like I'm not so out of shape. It took the whole fall on this left hand. And of course, I guess because of the Aikido training, I broke it and then rolled on it right on the concrete. So, mind you, before I had rolled on concrete, like flipped over, like not flip over, but flip rolling over. So kind of maybe, but this was no roll. This was like head on. If I hadn't done this, I would be in hospital tonight. My head, maybe I would probably be dead because I was going head down. Last moment I said, no, you're not gonna hold your balance. You better bring the hand out, boy. And sure I did. So, and thank you for that, Sunny, for asking. And Sunny, let me know where you are because I don't remember. Sunny, I will get to you. And we have a super chat from SG for almost €5. So let's see, where's SG? SG, let's find SG with his or her question. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. SGM says technical difficulty. SGM technical difficulty. SGM, but there is no message here. SG says sorry to hear that. Oh, no worries. Ouch, yeah, ouch is right. But where is SG's message? I get the super chat. SG says, when it comes to phobias, when it comes to phobias, though that someone has suffered through trauma, oh, it says when it comes to phobia, though, that someone has suffered through trauma, how do you cope and change? Well, you know, you're talking about trauma in the past, right? When you constantly trying to fix something that doesn't exist anymore, what do you do? You go into the memory. But if you don't go into the memory, there is no trauma. Trauma is when you actually remember, or when you go hunt for it, and in the memory. If you come into the moment right here, there's nothing to associate that trauma with it. But unless I know what trauma you're talking about, I can't exactly have a generalized respond to it. But the first thing you got to realize is trauma, whatever it was, is no longer. It cannot hurt you anymore. It's only the memory of it. And when you think about it, there's a emotional file with that memory of the incident that comes up. Because that emotional file can be felt again, and the feeling of that emotion is real because you can feel it again. Just like if you think of a sour grape or lemon, if you just think about it, that you're squeezing in your mouth, you salivate. So your body is reacting to thought, but there's no lemon here. So when you have a memory of the trauma, there's an emotional file that is with that memory. That emotional file can still make your body react. And when that emotional file comes up and your body reacts to that memory emotionally, then you feel the emotion in the now. When you feel the emotion in the now, you think actual thing is also happening in the now. There is no such thing. That thing, whatever it was, is dead, is no longer going to bother you. The memory of it is because the brain has no understanding between memory or actuality. You can be watching a movie and you can be frightened from it even though there's no actuality there. Or you can also be frightened by being in front of the cliff and it's about to personally feel the danger. Or you're watching a movie and there is the scene that is right on the cliff and they've made the movie in such a way that you can feel it's you. So you still react the same way because the brain is not capable of knowing what's virtuality, what's reality. Brain can do 60 trillion processes a second, but cannot figure out the difference between what's real, what's not real. That's why when you guys get intrusive thoughts, and which comes with images, the brain doesn't understand that this is just a hoax. It reacts to it, and then there is a reason that you think why brain is credible, or you think it's credible, and I've explained that in the video that will be uploaded next morning. Then you believe in that, whatever it is that is suggested, and then you fall for it. So the same thing in the trauma thing, when you remember it and the feeling is here, and the feeling is real, so you think the actual thing is real, the memory comes back with the feeling and stays there, and you're now reacting to the whole process again, and you think it's because something happened in the past and is not leaving you. No, it's because you somehow recall it through memory. Otherwise, there is absolutely no danger. But because you come from a background of the human history, always been alert for protection, the anxiety was necessary for us to have to protect ourselves for survival, which animal is about to attack, which human being is going to attack in the old time, million years ago. So now even the memory of the trauma will reactivate your anxiety for survival. And you're in reaction, your fight and flight is heightened, especially because you have an experience. You don't even have to, it's the memory that you're reacting to, you also perceive it because it has actually happened to you. So the memory of it triggers the actuality of that memory with the memory together. It's double, like you really get your back to the wall. I don't know if I can make sense right now or not. I hope I do. And here is Carpe Diem again. It's just, I mean, Carpe Diem alone is supporting this channel because he just helped the channel with another $25. It says, Zoom meeting is a wonderful idea. Thank you, Mehran. I'm here for you and for our community. Thank you very much, Carpe Diem. So you guys, don't forget, give me an idea. If you're a member, I think we can have the Zoom for 10 people, $25 each. And that would, we give it enough time for everybody. Like maybe we'll have a 2-hour Zoom meeting. So that will give enough time for each person, but maximum 10 people at a time. And the ones who are member. The ones who are not member, we can have a Zoom meeting, but it will be more than 10 people maybe, or it would, the price will be, if maybe it'll be double the number of people, but we keep it at $25, or 10 people with non-members, but the price would be like $75. But it still would be enough time to answer many of your questions and listen to the other ones. We will figure it out yet, but for the members, that can be faster done because we can figure out because of their membership, then they'll naturally will get a heavy cut. Instead of like $100 an hour, it'll be like $25 for that 2 hours between 10 people, which still be beneficial to everybody to listen to each other's challenges, and I think it would be enough time to have a good interaction. If the time goes even higher, that wouldn't be matter that much. I'll try to be accommodating as much as possible. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are okay with those arrangements and numbers, and for the non-members, well, we got to figure it out. Or maybe we just don't do it for non-members, just members, only members. Let's put it this way, just members. And that would make sense because then I can cut it down to $25 for each. And then at the same time, it will be a perk for people to become members. All right, who else we have here? We have Tim Shatter says, parents. Oh, okay, maybe I missed one. Tim says, about a year ago, my female friend who is around 46 years old. Tim, how old are you? 28. Okay, got it. My female friend who's about 46 years old asked me to go out with her to drink coffee and to have a conversation. We know each other from church, and she said close friends, but my parents kept telling me that she wanted something from me, love related, but she gave no sign of that. Our conversation was about regular things, nothing romantic. Why would she invite me then? Well, why shouldn't she? She's a human being. She's probably an I don't know, educated or mature woman, and she likes you, and why do you question? It's a blessing. A woman asks you for coffee. What the hell you constantly want to count the what is it? Gift horse in the mouth. How old is the horse? It's a gift. Appreciate it. Count your blessings. Say thank you, ma'am, for inviting me to coffee. Whatever it is. What are you worried about? Whatever she wanted. It's not going to harm you. You're always in control, as every woman is controlled. You know, if you suggest something that is inappropriate or makes her uncomfortable, or she's not up to it, she says no. Same thing. If she did ask you something that is not up your alley, you're not interested to have any romantic relationship with this woman, then you just say no. So what's a big deal? Why do you have to what? What do you think happens? She's gonna suck the energy out of you. She's 46 years old. She's probably gorgeous and young. And what's wrong with her? Maybe she wanted to see what kind of a man you are. Maybe she liked to, want something. But first, she's gauging you. She's not going to take you to coffee and says, hey, you want to go to bed? Well, that's not appropriate. What would you think she would respond if that would be your approach? Just get up and leave. So she's respecting you to get to know you, and maybe there would be something she would be interested. And if you are, then fine. If you're not, then no problem. You will feel it out. Don't be scared of it. All right. Now Patricia says, hello, what time is it there? Patricia, where are you? Which part of the world are you tuning in from? It is 10:51 p.m. And Tim says, even though I've never told her that I like her, I think she has the impression that I like her. That's why my parents believe that she wanted to make a move, but nothing really happened afterwards. Yeah, but look at it. What do you think? She wants to be your wife? Is that what your parents are afraid of? What is it? She's 46 years old. She knows what she's doing. She's an adult. She makes a decision, wants to have coffee with you, and if happens you guys like each other, mind and body, well, so be it. It shouldn't be, if you guys are, both healthy and exercise safe sex, what's a big deal? It's not like she wants to marry you. Maybe she likes you. Maybe she thinks you like her. Do you like her? I mean, this sounds like this sounds like a I don't know, a 19-year-old girl or 20-year-old girl is asking about this 38-year-old man who's hitting on her. She's concerned. What does he want with me? So you're a 20-year-old man and a 46-year-old woman. It's got the hots for you. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? You think you can only be 40 years old and have the hots for a 25-year-old? But a 46-year-old cannot have the interest, possibly sexual only, for a 28-year-old? It's not like you're a kid. Gee, it's hard to lift my teacup. All right now. All right. All right. So let's see where we are. So guys, don't forget to give me ideas what time, what day would be good for the members Zoom. I want to hear from you guys because I want to make this work for everyone. So we have, then who we have now? Patricia says, my name is Patricia. I'm a female. I'm 21 years old. I'm tuning in from Uruguay. Oh, all right. I wish I knew a word in Uruguay, something. I guess hello is universal. So Patricia says, my ex-boyfriend and ex-friends are friends. Ex-boyfriend, okay. Your ex-boyfriend and your girlfriend, but you're not friend with the girl anymore, are friends. I'm glad I'm no longer in that toxic environment. They lie a lot and made people believe I'm the bad one. It has caused me a lot of trauma because I'm not used to go and explain myself or defend myself. It all feels like a huge gaslight, and I do not know how to take my mind off of it. The problem is not taking your mind off of it. The problem is that you put your mind on it. Why do you focus on it? Who do you have to explain? Who is it that you think you have to explain? To whom? If people are not asking you about any of the garbage that these two are possibly, as you say, saying here and there, you don't mention anything. You don't go defend yourself for something that you have not been asked or accused of. Because then it's like running to a policeman and says, officer, I didn't do anything. I haven't done anything. The officer says, what the heck are you talking about? We're not looking for you. So you're creating something by falling in the bullshit of them. If they're talking nonsense and garbage, let them talk nonsense and garbage. Let them talk so much that people eventually say, oh, shut up. What the hell are you talking so much about this girl, about Patricia? And if they had any problem, they will ask you. But you're running around trying to remedy something that is not a trouble for you, at least nobody has mentioned it. People hear shit. If they have the guts, if it's important to them, they'll come and ask you. If they're friends, they'll ask you. If they don't ask you and they judge about it, then they're not friends. Fair enough, then you move on. But the problem we human beings are in our psyche is that when we know something, we think everybody knows it. When we have an intrusive thought or negative thought about certain knowledge that we have heard, like certain rumor about us that we don't like, we have heard it. It's not a rumor. Somebody said something. You're aware of it. And suddenly you think the whole world is a why? Because you think the two people who think that way or said that shit about you are the world. Because your circle is representation of, to you, is the whole world. But it's not. It's maximum about 2-3 people you know about this whole thing, or 10. What is it, 20? What do we have in the world? Last count was what, 8 billion? But in your mind, everybody thinks that way. No, only a couple of idiots think that way. And now you include it because you think it's true. The first thing you got to do is that when you don't believe it, you don't go to fix it. But when you kind of fall for the bullshit, try to fix everything. Oh, don't think bad at me, Mr. I don't know, milkman or the gas station person or the supermarket clerk. What do you care what they think anyhow? But it is not that you care about what they think about you. You have created an image of yourself in your mind. And you want people out there, whether people who know you or don't know you, to know you per the image you have created about yourself in your mind, and you want them to see that image. And now you think by these idiots saying these nonsense about you, that image that you know yourself about, that how you know yourself in your mind, that image is tarnished. You're trying to fix the image that you have of yourself in your mind by going after whoever is trying to shit on that image. Where? In your mind. Nobody else knows about it. Nobody else cares about it. The only person that really cares about what the garbage they're saying is you. And you know it's not true. But yet, you think that untrue statement, because you know it, is tarnishing the image you know of yourself in your mind. And now you think everybody is seeing you in that image that has been tarnished, not the image that you always like them to see you. So you're out there thinking you got to fix something. There's nothing to fix. Don't pay attention. People say things. If you're supposed to run around and fix everybody who says something about you, for heaven's sake, I wouldn't even have time to sit down here and have tea and enjoy and share with you my pain and sorrow that I fell on concrete. Sympathy, please. Sympathy, sympathy. So, so that's the idea. And you are trying in your own mind to constantly go over it to make sure that you are convinced that these guys are full of shit. You know that. But now you want everybody to agree with you. So even the people who don't know what these people have said, you're going to go explain it to them because you want to bring them on your side so you can be convinced by their opinion positively about you that your image is still as it used to be. They don't even know about it. But you're now helping them to actually expand this nonsense. So the best thing is for you, don't pay attention. People say things. You know, it's like a bad smell. It comes and goes. Don't worry about it. You run around trying to fix everything that is wrong, you wouldn't have time to live your life. And 21-year-olds you are, and it's these things are so important to you, but they're actually not. When you will be like 30 years old or 27 years old and you look back and say, Jesus, I was running around to fix something that it didn't even matter, didn't even give a shit. But why did I give a shit then? All right. So now we go to Kala Lamba. And Kala Lamba didn't tell us if he or she, what's his or her gender is, how old, and which country he or she is tuning in from. But the question gives it away a bit. It says, what's your thought about Hindu religion? No thoughts. I don't know much about it, but I know you've got 50,000 gods and counting. Like, you don't like something, you create another god for it, which is fine. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Many people who know about Hinduism, they like it, and they live their lives by it. But I don't know much about it. But I haven't heard anything bad about it, and I haven't heard anything specifically good about it. And the same thing about other religions. All religions have a certain divine mandate to help people, to guide people, to help them to be closer to the best they can be. That's their opening. But then each one of them, depending on what kind of a mentality and consciousness gets in there, and what kind of a leadership or what kind of a promoter or intention that particular group in that religion have that you've joined, they may steer you wrong in the name of religions. I mean, how many people do we have that they are good or bad of the same religion? The many people who have a certain religion are amazingly good, kind, proper people, and in the same religion we have many people who are amazingly garbage and menace to humanity. And it goes for all religions. I'm not picking on one. There's good in any of them, and there's bad in any of them. It depends how you interpret it. And every one of them that supposedly tried to direct people for the same reason, to make them better people, all of them have this doctrine to become closer to the God and the qualities of God and be a better human being and more compassionate, more this and that, so forth. Every one of them. But every one of them tried to knock down the other religion. It's become like a multi-level just recruiting and then trying to, oh no, that's bad, we're good. We take you to God, but that one takes you to hell. And the other one says the same thing about this one. So they've really lost the whole real purpose of when they started that religion, whoever, however it started. So I really don't have any opinion. I don't have an opinion about Hinduism or Islam or Judaism or Christianity or any other religion or even Buddhism. Because it's not the religion itself. They all mean good. It's a person who's practicing that religion and what they're using that religion to do. It's like a knife. You take a knife, you can use it to prepare food to feed the children and the needy or your family, or someone picks up a knife and tries to, do harm to others. So is knife good or bad? It's not the knife. It's up here of the person who's actually using that. So religions, in my opinion, they're all good. But the kind of people who use that religion for certain reasons, that's the problem. All right. Stephen is here. He says, hello, Mehran. Hello. No, he didn't say hello, Mehran. He said, good evening, Mehran. Good evening, Stephen. And Stephen says, Stephen Mail 40, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. And Stephen says, just got home and gonna sleep soon. I always appreciate these live chats. Okay, good. Mustafa Erdogan. Oh, that's the familiar name in Turkey. Erdogan, you must be from Turkey, are you? Says, I've been with my ex for so long, I don't remember how life was before. I lost my identity in her. What? You lost your identity in her, and I am trying to find myself again. Oh, you've broken up. If I wake up every morning with her on my mind, how will it ever go? Well, first of all, give me a little bit more info. When did you guys break up? How long were you guys together? Did you guys, live together? Were you guys married? What happened? And these are all things that you may want to, help me out here to have a little bit of a grip on the situation. Of course, not with this hand, because I don't think I can hold anything, let alone grip of your situation. This hand I'll use. Okay. So, and also let me know how old you are, Mustafa, and how old she was, and everything else that I need to know. Or you can simply go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and make an appointment for one-on-one Skype consultation. And when you make a 1 hour appointment, I will add another appointment as a new client, and we'll have 2 hours for the beginning, first session in that session, and that'll give us ample time to deal with that. Stephen says, for the past 2 weeks, whenever I'd get an intrusive thought, I recognize it and dismiss it as far as it's, and so far it's working. Look, yes, it does. Why? Because it's not important what intrusive thought it is. It's not important what topic it is. It's not important if it's sexual intrusive thoughts, pedophilia intrusive thoughts, harm intrusive thought. It doesn't matter what the topic is. All it matters that it is intrusive thought. So you call it for that, for what it is, and don't bother with it anymore. Because all you need to know, look, if you're walking somewhere in a dark alley or some city you don't know much, or even your own city, and you sense some nuisance, some people who want to cause harm, you can see their looks, you can see, I don't know, the knives in their hands or whatever it is, baseball bat, you can see their energy, you can see that there's trouble. Are you going to stand there and say, excuse me, what kind of a trouble are you going to bring for me? Are you going to hit my head? Or are you going to break my hand? Or are you guys going to attack me one at a time? Or is it going to be a collective attack? What's your intention? What do you want, money, or what is it? Are you gonna do that, or you just say, okay, these are bad people, I gotta get out of here? I think you would get out of there because that's a smart thing to do. You're not gonna find out what nationality they are, what gang they're from, why they're here, what do they want. It's irrelevant, right? All what is relevant is only one thing. These are intrusive people. These are bad people. There's a harm on the way. Same thing. When intrusive thought shows up, you're not going to care. You shouldn't care about what topic is it. Is it sexual? Is it about my gender? I'm a heterosexual. Is it trying to tell me I'm a homosexual? The image. What kind of image is it? Is it about pedophilia? Is it about bringing harm to my children? Or is it to my parents? Or am I a bad person? Or you don't care. You shouldn't care. All you care is about, hey, I'm a human being. I know who I am. I only think about what I am. I don't give a shit about anything else. I have my choices. I make the decisions. It doesn't matter what kind of idea, suggestion, or images show up. So all I care is that this is not in line to my values. It's intrusive. As long as I see it, call it for what it is, recognize it's intrusive, I'm out of here. I don't want to know anything about you. I want to focus on what my day is all about. That's how you deal with intrusive thoughts. And that's how you deal with bad people. You don't get involved in discussion or pay attention to them to give them power. And that's how thoughts get a hold of you, when you give attention to them. Don't give attention to them. Just accept the fact that these are possibilities that exist in this world. These bad people, they're bad people in the world. These thoughts, possibilities of thoughts of this kind to show up, to be made. It's what the brain does. I accept that thoughts can be bad. Okay. I accept that people could be bad. Okay. Then that's it. I don't need to know what kind of bad, what kind of topic, what kind of a nuisance. I don't care. What's the difference? Huh? Honestly, excuse me, but you have problem with your tummy, you go to the bathroom and you poo it out. All you care is that I gotta go poo. Now you're not gonna say, oh, what kind of poo is it? Let me check it out. What did I have? You just gotta get rid of it and go on. Same thing. Thoughts show up, you get rid of it when you recognize that it's inappropriate, not to my interest. You go on. Walk in somewhere, bad people in a party or somewhere else, negative people, you can feel the energy. I don't need to find out why they are negative. I don't care. Move on. Move out of there. That's how you negotiate life. You know? You walk in from this place to that place, you see lots of dog poo, debris, garbage, vomit, spit, this and that on the floor. What do? Why is it there? I call the police. Why is it? You just negotiate. You put your foot on clean places and go on, pass by and move on. That's how you do life. You can't fix the world. You can't fix your brain. Oh, don't have intrusive thoughts because it's me. I'm a good person. I'm not this. I'm not that. And your suggestion is inappropriate. What do you want to teach? You don't talk to people. Oh, why are you a bad person? Why do you want to hurt me? Just move on. All of that, it makes sense. But you guys got to understand that you got to treat your brain as an independent entity outside of you. Not you. It doesn't represent you. It's just like people who you don't know out there. They say shit, you pass by. They say senseful thing, you maybe hear it. Otherwise, you have no mandate of thinking whatever people say, you should have a meaning or pertaining you. Same thing with your brain. Whatever your brain says doesn't mean it has any value or credibility. You are the judge. You should always remember, you're the owner of whole this entity. That's how you deal with it. Good for you, Stephen. And Chester says, Mehran, is it common for HOCD to transition to another OCD theme once my head agreed that I really like women, my mind started telling me that I'm bisexual? Oh, fuck all that. It's all bullshit. It's trying to, again, there's no difference between the brain suggesting to a heterosexual that he or she is homosexual, and then when you kind of manage that and figure out it's all nonsense, it's thought based, and you're not thought is not you, you're not the brain, brain is not you, and then it keeps coming back, and you now say, well, maybe I'm bisexual. Why? It's not an entity. It's not you that is coming up with a second offer. You know, sir, last week I suggested that you're homosexual, and you rejected that. How about, what do you say about bisexual? You know, like it's a bazaar. Would you like to buy this? No. How about this one? Well, yeah. It's not a negotiation. It's chromosomes. You've been born as a heterosexual, and somebody is born as a homosexual, and that's how it's going to be. You're not supposed to be now considering the intrusive nature of the brain, and when it malfunctions due to anxiety and OCD and, you know, all the reasons that we talked about, that he wants to make sure and bring certainty to what you love to be as a heterosexual, and now it makes a suggestion, and you're supposed to say, well, what if I, consider, what? You're being bamboozled because of lack of education and lack of understanding of the separation of brain. And I've explained to my video why you think brain has credibility. I've explained that from the basic understanding of where thought comes from and its relationship with consciousness in the videos in the playlist Intrusive, Transient, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts, which I did that about 8 months ago. But this one that is coming up tomorrow morning, it has a different discussion on it. In addition to that, this is a different angle of it for you to familiarize yourself, to be able to see the separation. I don't know who I'm making all these videos for. If you guys haven't watched every single goddamn videos that I have, specifically, more important than the other playlist that I came up with first, specifically the playlist Intrusive, OCD, HOCD, short videos. That's a different playlist than the first one. Intrusive, OCD, HOCD, short videos. On this playlist, you only have things that really matters in general about the function of the brain, malfunction, its limitations, and its connections and disconnections with you. Because that's all it matters to handle HOCD. You don't need to data hunt it and interpret the meaning of every shit that comes into your mind. That's going to take you to rabbit holes that is not necessary, because the brain of people with OCD is above average intelligence, and it's got capabilities of creativity, and it can associate words and images faster than many other brains. It's overactive, and it can just run with that kind of a data hunting and seeking for meaning of it. If there's any meaning into that thought or image that showed up, it's going to bamboozle you. So you actually don't want to go there. I put all those explanations of the feelings and the reasons and the emotions and why you may feel this way, and the lack of, the inferiority and lack of confidence, and then how the brain functions with the all the other things that I explained. But those were for people who really wanted to get their hands on some kind of explanations, and I clearly have explained the roots of that. But that's really not important, because you can come up with all kinds of other reasons or suggestions or criterias, and you can go on forever, getting in deep into that kind of thing. Most important is to actually understand how this thing works and functions and malfunctions. And that's what I have done in the second playlist. Intrusive, OCD, HOCD, short videos. Not all of them are short. Certainly not the ones that is going to be uploaded tomorrow morning. That one is probably the longest one. But I would suggest you have tea and enjoy with it. It's and I have tried to turn off the ads in the middle. In most of my videos, other than the live chats, If they're longer than 10 minutes, I want you guys not to be distracted. So if I see them, I purposely turn off the advertisements in the middle of the video, maybe before and after, because the channel has to make some money. Otherwise, I've tried, if I catch them, they're going, I try to turn them off so you guys won't be distracted. But I think this 108 minutes one tomorrow, if you have set up a certain time for yourself and relax and try to see what's being said. That's where you should focus your understanding of HOCD, how to deal with it, not about the meaning or content finding and translation of it and all that, interpretation, all that. That's not necessary. All what it is to understand that you're not the brain and you're not thoughts, and accept the fact that brain is an independent system and has the capability of making all kinds of shit that unbeknown to you. You've got no responsibility for it. Hence, you have no responsibility to explain it or to figure it out. Just like a bad person showed up, you avoid it. Oh, that's bad person. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm aware of you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Or something that you don't want to step on. Oh, okay, no. I'm gonna put my foot over there and there. You don't go, poke it and say, oh, what is it? Oh, how does it smell? What? No, you just go. Same thing with thoughts. Recognize that it is intrusive, and that's all there is. So that's interesting. We got 12 people here, but got 18 likes. This is just amazing. And I really don't know. Why is it that people don't get the signal that we are live? Or should I dare to say that they don't give a damn? Maybe we are full of nonsense here. Why is it? I mean, we've got 22,000 subscribers. Don't tell me only 12 people get the notification that we are live. All right. Now, Sunny Boy says, I'm an HOCD sufferer. My father called me gay my whole life. He's immature, which puts a fear in my head before HOCD. I would be scared I found other females attractive. Does that mean something? No. It just means that you got heightened, lit your projectors and focused them on something that you're supposedly, by your gender, you're being alerted. Naturally, we all heterosexuals are naturally protective of what they are, especially that this day and age, there's lots of talk about other people's lifestyle, which is to some interesting, to many who are not of that persuasion or gender, it's uninteresting and unwelcomed and extra information and irrelevant. But nevertheless, these are the type of information that is out there, so it is constantly becoming a topic. And you, being a heterosexual, and your whole identity and life goes around how good a heterosexual you are, the protectiveness of the idea of protecting it is a very important thing, because that's your identity. And that already you have that protectiveness about your identity, your sexuality on it. Now, when you see so much discussion on this topic is happening, you become more alert and in tune in protecting yourself from that concept, which heightens your alertness and focuses your projectors as if there's going to be an intruder to the idea of your gender, and therefore you bring more attention to the whole topic because you're programmed to protect it. And the negative brain, negative mind, grabs onto it and latches onto it and says, oh, okay, let me show that I am doing my job, which is protecting him or her. So comes up with all kinds of ideas, suggestions, images to keep you more alert than you've already been alert. And your dad, having said all that stuff, has made you even more careful about what's out there. So I won't be, I have to make sure I'm not interested in that. Well, you're not interested in that. It's not that, you don't have to make sure of it. When you have so much attention on something, then everything that possibly is coming as a form of thought or suggestions, because brain makes suggestions and thoughts out of every information that is out there, and this sort of information is far more out there than it was 50, 60 years ago. It's out in the open. And because it's out in the open, the brain, your mind, is bombarded by them, and they are part of the things that you want to protect yourself from, because that's how your program is. Therefore, you become more and more focused on it. And the more you're focused on it, the more brain makes thoughts about it. So what you need to do is just say, hey, listen, some people are homosexuals and some people are not. I'm not. So the word gay or homosexual doesn't mean, or the thought of images of homosexual or gay activity or any of that would not mean that I'm going to be gay. Okay, I'm going to be actually given signal by the neighbor that I'm talking loud. That's unfortunate. So okay, we'll talk a little bit less. I lost the train of my thought. Mind you, this is 11:26 and it's Friday night. So I'm not sure how we can continue that. So what I was trying to say is that is the process of your anxiety level on this sort of thing. And then so you shouldn't be focusing on that. That's why you have this focus on your attention. Otherwise, there is really nothing there in biology. Your biology doesn't change just because a thought showed up. Let's put it this way. All right. So well, maybe so we won't be too much of a cause hardship for my neighbor, who is an older lady, and I noticed she was banging on the wall. So maybe my voice carries, but it's unfortunate. Anyhow, so let me maybe speak quieter to answer these questions. Steven says the Zoom meeting is wonderful. And Neville says, I appreciate your work. You're quite welcome. Can you guys hear me if I'm speaking softly like this? Just give me a yes or no. So at least maybe I can know how I can manage it. Now, Neville says, can you guys let me know if you guys can hear me, if I'm speaking softly like this? Neville says, how do I stop thinking about my ex and focus on becoming the best version of myself? Well, you don't need to focus on the best version of yourself. Just focus on yourself and build your life, and your best version is there and comes out by choosing your activities and what you try to accomplish in life. So it's not like you need to stop thinking about your ex. The question is, why would you want to be thinking about your ex? I mean, wouldn't that be a better question? Just ask yourself, why should I be thinking about my ex? It says, it's the picture of then that triggers me to be upset. How old are you? Where are you tuning in from? Let me know that. SGM says, thanks. Made perfect sense. Thank you. I wish I could forget past trauma or cope with these things. Of course you can. Look, if our forefathers and ancestors were able to cope with the traumas that the dinosaur ate their father or their son or their daughter or their wife in a chunk, or the other tribes came and killed them all, or the wild animal ran after them and stomped them and then killed them, then ate them. If they can deal with those kind of traumas, I bet you we can deal with the traumas that usually are not, that bad, gruesome. Can someone tell me if you can? Carpe Diem says Zoom meeting for members Saturday 1 p.m. Vancouver time. My suggestion. Oh, Saturday Vancouver time 1 p.m. usually is for the the public meetings that we have. So you want to replace that, huh? For Saturdays. Then when do we have our public meeting? Because Saturdays at 1 p.m. it's still Saturday night in Europe, which means the next day Sunday it's a holiday. They can afford to sit around. If I do it nighttime or even during the day for North America. And the Zoom, we should put it on a different time because it's going to be just for North America. Mostly can make the time. Maybe we can put that on Sundays. How about that? Maybe that's a suggestion. All right. Oh. So it's okay then, yeah? All right. So if I speak quietly like this, it still works. All right, good. So we go back to yeah, Chester. Intrusive thought is intrusive regardless if you're awake or asleep. You have it during the day, then you sleep. You the same thing. There's no there's no more or less meaning to it. It's still irrelevant. Doesn't matter what the content, what the dream was like. Doesn't matter the content. All it matters is that it's intrusive. That's all. And that's because you've been thinking about it and how to deal with it all day long, just like anything else. You think about surfing all day long, you're going to dream about surfing. If that is extremely focused and it was mixed with anxiety and importance of it as a type of a survival, as important as this is, occupies the totality of your attention during the day. And then you will dream about it at night. So if it's intrusive, you will also dream about it at night. Doesn't matter what content, what images, whatever. And okay. All right. And Carpe Diem says, hello, dear Miran. Good to see you. Mail 42 Alberto. Oh, I just see it now. So Carpe Diem says, letting go of worry, letting go of crazy thoughts. I want to be free. Yes. in order to letting go of the crazy thoughts, we need to understand the structure and the function and the shortcomings and malfunction and relationship between brain, thoughts, and you. And for the complete elaboration of that, the playlist Intrusive, OCD, HOCD, short videos are special for understanding that. And our members Zoom, we can discuss that again as well in more elaboration. Perhaps what we can do is we will have a topic or title for the Zoom meeting. So the trick for the people who are not member and they want to take advantage of the maybe special price for it is that just get a membership for I don't know, for that some duration, and then you can automatically do that. Then I will send the link and then the email for the PayPal, and you guys can go in there and just put the fee of $25, and I can see the names that are coming through as registered. Then I can send those links to people. So we aim for next Sunday at 1 p.m. Next Sunday at 1 p.m. for Zoom meeting. And in this 1 week, whoever is a member or whoever is not a member, go and become a member, and then send $25 to my PayPal, md007m@gmail.com. I write it down here, md007m@gmail.com. So in this way, because I don't have a Zoom meeting criteria on my site, mind@sixtruth.com, like where I sell the books and the appointments for the Skype, so you can go and simply send it through my email, because my email is connected to PayPal, and that's how they also transfer money. So as soon as I receive $25 with their email, I can see it. And then I can send you the link to the people who have paid for it. And if you're a member, that's easy. If you're not a member, then become a member. Then I'll see that you're a member and you've sent the fee through the PayPal. Then I can send you the link, and we can all. Then only 10 people for each session. We want it to be. I want to have enough time to attend to everyone's question, and not just one or two questions. And 10 people will have at least 2 hours time for it. So I think it would be it would work for everybody. I mean, the fee is good for 2 hours, even though it's not one-on-one, but it's 10-to-1, which is since this is the same topic, people know it's about OCD, HOCD, subsets of OCD, or even relationships. They can come in, and then they understand that they are mutually exclusive. Understanding about the movement of mind and OCD and HOCD, and how brain and thoughts and consciousness and fear and desire so on works, that's also effective to understand why you feel the way you do after breakup, not just the OCD. Many people after breakup, they actually are going through the OCD end of it, and they got to understand the function of their brain to understand why they feel the way they do. So they're all related. So 10 people only for those subjects, as it is up here at the title of the discussion, for breakups, OCD, HOCD, and then I will send you the links, and we will be set to go. If we have more than 10 people, then I would have to put another meeting and then discuss it, what time is good for the ones who didn't make the first 10. So first come, first serve. And remember, we got to have 10 people in order to have the meeting. We don't have 10 people, then, it wouldn't work. Somehow we will get it sorted out. So we can then, if it's like 5 people, done, we will just have it shorter time maybe. But we'll still manage the first one, regardless of how many it is. And then from then we learn how to manage it. As the more people we have, I guess the more successful we'll be in keeping that going. So Neville says, I appreciate your work. My pleasure. SGM says, I've always liked you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Morgan says, with HOCD, why does it seem so real and feels like you're turning homosexual from your thoughts? Yeah, it feels like it because there is a reason why you actually give credibility to the brain. And watch the videos that I'm uploading tonight or tomorrow at 7 a.m. And it's going to be up. It's a long one, but you will have pretty good discussion in regards to why you behaving the way you do, you following your thoughts. And understanding the separation between the two will help you to deal with that. Morgan, what about the protocol? Like, what your gender, where you're tuning in from, how old you are? And Sunny says, I'm from Italy. Oh, buonasera, or buongiorno. Yeah, is it? Yeah, must be buongiorno. Como stai? And Nirware says, hi. Hello, Nir. Again, don't forget the protocol, please, guys. Neville says, how do I stop thinking about my ex and focus on becoming... Oh, we talked about that one. And Neville says, it's the picture of 10 that triggers me to be upset. Why do we be upset? We'll talk about that at a different time. I think I should finish it off today. And next time I start earlier, like I start at least 9 o'clock, so we'll have 2 hours to 11, because my arrangement with this lady, my neighbor, is that until 11 o'clock I can't. I will do what I need to do, and I actually don't make any noise. Only when I speak, she says your voice carries. I said, well, okay. I'll use sign language. Well, you gotta be accommodating anyhow. So I try my best. But tonight was surprising because it was only 11:28, and it's Friday night, for heaven's sake. I mean, people have music and things going. But nevertheless, that's all right. Aman says, actually, I got it. Thinking makes emotions, false ones. That's not how actually body works naturally, as what I am always are. But the problem is, when I try to let the sensation happen and feel as fragile body likes girls, one after an hour it vanishes like a TV show. I absolutely did nothing. But when it vanishes, it feels as what should feel like now, because that kind of behavior is something which I get very used to, like daily mind behavior. I'm not following. I lost you somewhere, but I'm reading it anyhow. And Aman says, now when I get out of that behavior, naturally I'm feeling like that. Look, even when I read it, an OCD brain is already prone to extraordinary activities. Now, when you start hunting down and making meaning and analyzing things that you don't even need to, then while you're analyzing, your brain is going to come up with all kind of other shit. So the idea for dealing with HOCD and so on is spend least amount of time dealing with it, not data hunting it and analyzing it and interpreting it, because that involves more of a attention to it. So I understand your interest in knowing reasons, but I'm trying to tell you that brain doesn't need reasons.
It's not producing thoughts based on reasons. There are no reasons there for you to be had. Don't look for one. Just focus that this is a thought that I'm not interested. It's intrusive. That's the end of it. I don't care what it is. Anxiety, thought, whatever the hell it is. You don't like it, that's not your choice. That's how it is categorized, as intrusive. And that's enough for it to be kicked out. Meaning you move on with your other things. Don't try to find out and legitimize it or find reasons for it, or because you're a perfectionist, you want to continuously get assurances that I'm not this that is being suggested. Look, people can say shit about me when I'm walking in the street. I'm not going to stop and say, well, sir, no, but the reason that you're saying is wrong is because this. I didn't do this, that. What? Who the fuck are they? And the brain is the same. Who the fuck is the brain that you're trying to prove to it, concerned with it, and try to change the suggestion, and just to what? To protect yourself against what? It's a thought. You don't owe any explanation to it. Just understand that you're the boss and this was bad thought as far as you're concerned because of your lifestyle. You don't like that kind of a suggestion. That's the end of it. The rest of it doesn't matter. Don't try to find any reason. There is no reason to be had. You're trying to find a reason, assurance, that there must be an answer. Answer to what? Look, you see a crazy person in the street and says some shit. Now you want to find out why. The why is not in what he or she said. The why is in the fact that the person is crazy. You're not focusing on the fact that the person is crazy. It's garbage. You're focusing why this garbage was said. Don't look at the content, look at the source. The source is a crazy person. That's the end of the discussion. So don't look at the content that comes from here. The source is the brain, and the brain is independent system that has gone rogue and does go rogue in every single human being on earth. Intrusive thoughts are the expertise and the speciality of the brain of every human being. Every one of them have the same thoughts that you have of any kind. The difference is that their anxiety level is not kicking in to bring their fight and flight in heightened level and then focus on it, and then the malfunction in the signaling system through striatum, where caudate nucleus is, in people who are not having a OCD glitch, it works perfectly and shuts down. In other words, a person who is not suffering from HOCD or OCD has the intrusive thought, it shows up and it says, ooh, that's nasty, and then caudate nucleus shuts it down, and prefrontal cortex doesn't continue because it got a response from the system, says, I'm not interested in that, stop this kind of nonsense, and that's it. But in the people who have OCD and suffering from any kind of OCD, this automatic system doesn't sometimes work properly. So when the suggestion of intrusive thought shows up, the system automatically shuts it down after you recognize, ooh, what was that? And then shuts down. But when you have an OCD, it doesn't work that way. It comes in, system doesn't shut it down, the prefrontal cortex keeps processing it, and you think, oh, it's lingering, that means something. No, it doesn't mean something. It just means there's a malfunction. Automatic system is not shutting it down. You're supposed to do it manually, meaning by your behavior, not paying attention to it, you're rewiring yourself through neuroplasticity. You're teaching your brain new tricks that this is how you're supposed to ignore it. And by you ignoring it constantly, 1,000,000 times it shows up, 1,000,000 times you ignore it, it learns. It's not conditioned that, oh, that's the response that they're going to give me if I come up with these kind of thoughts. And eventually, it shuts it down. And then caudate nucleus can catch back on and rewire itself. And then again, it'll be fine. And if it showed up again, you're familiar with the malfunction of this system and you'll deal with it. You won't be bamboozled or excited or panic or anything like this. Because, okay, I know how this system works. It breaks down sometimes. Fuck it. But when it breaks down, it's not a representation of your gender is changing. It's fucked up here. Capiche? So rest assured, relax, go on. And we are accustomed to look for certainty. And that's why if there is a glitch here that hangs on longer, and then we say, oh, those things are not certain, I got to make it certain, because from a million years ago, we've always been seeking certainty. Where's the danger? I should watch for things. And we still have carrying the same gene, and so we want certainty. And if something that is contrary to what our preference and our interest is, then you want assurance. Am I still who I am? Is everything okay? Nobody's going to die. I'm going to be okay. This is not contaminated. That's not dirty. I'm not homosexual. I'm not heterosexual. I'm not this whatever. I'm not that whatever. Depending on what your sexuality is, intrusive thoughts is for everybody. So it's not just the heterosexuals who get attacked by HOCD. It's just the way the brain works. So, all right. Patricia's from Uruguay, okay. El Professor says, Mehran, 21-year-old male, Sri Lanka, when these intrusive thoughts hit my mind, I know it's intrusive, but still I feel sad. Yeah, of course, who wouldn't? It's like a fly sitting on my hand. I know it's a fly, but I still don't like it. Just because I know what it is doesn't mean, okay, now I like it. No, I don't like it. But it's a fly. I have to accept that there is a possibility of fly sitting on my... So that's it. I don't say, oh, fly, what are you doing here? Where'd you come from? How'd you fly? How was your flight? Were they serving beer on the... I mean, you don't think about it automatically. Now, after a while, you are expert in understanding, oh, that's intrusive, I don't pay attention, that's it. You rewire yourself, then it becomes automatic. It's like anything else you do in life. You want to learn tennis, it's difficult at the beginning. But once you're really good at it and you kept doing it, you respond to the ball without thinking. You negotiate. Same thing. Intrusive thought shows up and you become expert how to fend it off by ignoring it. So you recognize, you go about it. You kind of don't see it anymore. It's like a place where you're trying to study and there's a loud music. After a while, you don't even hear any people talking or loud music. You're just studying because you train your senses not to pay attention to something and then pay attention to whatever it is that you should be paying attention to. It takes a certain practice. You're conditioning yourself because it's malfunctioning. Automatic system is malfunctioning, so you're conditioning yourself. And one-legged pigeon is here. It says, hi Mehran, why when I'm drunk I think about why my ex cheated after a year of breakup. Well, I had a friend whose father was a ophthalmologist. I was a doctor, eye doctor. And every time they had guests usually would ask him things to do about their eyes. Oh, doctor, there are guests in their home. I said, doctor, when I watch TV, my eyes hurt. So he learned to say, don't watch TV. So pretty much that your answer would be, when I'm drunk, why my ex cheated after a year of breakup, I think of that. Well, don't get drunk. Either understand that it's irrelevant why she cheated. What's the reason? Why? What you're trying to say, oh, if she cheated, that means I wasn't good enough. What are you supposed to prove yourself? That your goodness of being a good person and a good heterosexual, a good lovemaker, if she approves of you. That's your gauge? who died and left her in charge in this world about these sort of things. You're supposed to be independent of your worth and value, who you are, what you are, and so on. Not depending on what she thinks. You know? So, just let that go. Don't give a damn. So either that or don't drink. One of the two. And Aman says, I don't know why still I'm feeling neutral attraction towards girls. I told you, when you have such fears and such intrusions in your thoughts, it's no different than when you are swimming. And I heard that with another YouTuber who said it perfectly, interestingly. Said, look, yes, if somebody is not getting an erection, he says, well, naturally it's like you're swimming in a pond and an alligator is about to just take a bite out of your ass. You're frightened, you're swimming away, you're fleeing, you're escaping from the alligator's danger, and right then you want to have an erection. So while these thoughts are in your head, obviously you won't be able to feel worthy and good to think about girls, because you think, oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, you know, how can I be good for them when I'm thinking this way? You think they don't have intrusive thoughts in their heads? Everybody has intrusive thoughts. But just because you know about yours and you don't know about theirs, you think they don't have it because you don't know about it. That's how it looks. So you should understand that you're anxious and you're thinking about these sort of things, and obviously it's going to affect your attention to what you love to pay attention to, which is girls. So be patient. And Dart Ridiculous says, hello Dart. And Aman says, I'm not having HOCD, false attraction, but I don't know how to get my attraction back toward girls. You don't have to get it back, it's there. You just have to focus on understanding that these nonsense are, occupying your mind. Yeah, I know. It's hard to remember to know what I said as well. I feel false attraction to my friend, and I feel forcefully. See, what's the reason I feel false attraction to my friend, and I feel force pulling me off when I talk to girls? Because it's intrusive thought. You don't seem to understand. You guys pick on the fact that there's intrusive thoughts. Okay, we understood this. But then you forget about the intrusive thought is also making you think about what you're attracted, what you're not attracted, what you should be, what you shouldn't be. All you have to do is to manually, by not paying attention to these, eventually over time, you will have this corrected by understanding that, listen, if it suggests that I'm attracted to this guy, okay, be it. Let it think what it does. I'm not going to argue with it or change its mind or whatever. Okay. Yeah, all right. So what? The guy is good looking. Okay, fine. But I'm not going to be sleeping with the guy or have any such interest. So you just be okay with any kind of thought showing up. Don't try to fight with it or anything. Okay, you that kind of thought wants to show up? Fine. All right. You think I'm gay? Okay. Okay. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of somebody saying, oh, you're gay. Okay, fine. I'm gay. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Have a nice day. That's it. The attention is away from it. But you're trying to fight it now. You're creating more energy into it. And then it stays on your mind, and you think, oh, this is having a real effect. No, it's not a real effect. The thought is constantly there. You're keeping it there by trying to get rid of it. Just let's say, okay, you have the right to live, Mr. Thought. Okay. Or Mrs. Thought. Okay. You're a thought. I'm not afraid of thought. Because, look, if someone in reality comes in the street and tries to grab you to do something with you, you're going to probably punch him in the nose and, get rid of the guy, or just move on and run away. These are thoughts. The thoughts have the opportunity to linger here. But if they were actuality in the street, I will tell you how would you react. You wouldn't be trying to, you wouldn't be bothered. Why? Because you'll just do whatever you think you got to do, get out of that situation, and then you'll be fine. I handle it perfectly. Right now is that I can't get rid of it. Why? Because you're not in control of thought. That's why you can't get rid of it. But because you can't get rid of it, because you're not in control of brain's thought making function, you think then I must be it. Then I must agree with it. That's why it's not, I can't get rid of it. No, you can't get rid of it because there's no possibility to get rid of it, because you're not responsible for making it. Something else is. It's like you're trying to be in control of what other people utter. You're not controlling them. They can say whatever the shit they want to say in the street. You can't control what they say. And because you can't control it, and they say what they want to say, that doesn't mean it would apply to you, would be any meaning or interest to you. It's just that you're not in control of it. The same thing here. You're not in control of the thought that shows up, and you think because you're not in control of it, you can't get rid of it, you can't stop it, that means you're for it. No. Because if it was an actual action, translated not a thought, just actual intrusive behavior towards you in the street by another person of same gender, you would then react in a manner that you would do. You would break his face, or you would defend yourself, or however it is, get away, and you would reject the whole fucking thing. But you don't have that opportunity, so you can't see the result of your preference in actuality. Then it's like unsolved. So, relax. These are thoughts. There's no danger, so let them be. Thought? You think I'm gay? Okay, fine, thank you. So yeah, some people are gay, but me, I'm not interested. All right. Chester says, thank you, Mehran, for your knowledge. These thoughts have been causing me a lot of headaches recently. Mahalo. Mahalo. Yeah, I know. It does. It is annoying, that's for sure. But then we got to learn how the brain works and rewire it by our behavior and understanding. And then eventually we'll handle it. Because, as I mentioned before, chromosomes are not made by thoughts. They're not going to be modified or changed by thoughts. You're born however you're born, you've been however you've been, and you are, and you will always be however you've been born and created. It's not up to thoughts. So therefore, knowing that should simply say, I don't pay attention to the garbage that comes up with my head, which I'm not responsible for its making. So it's a thought. Okay, fine. Thank you. But I make the choice, and I've made my choice. I know who I am. So therefore, I'm not interested. The thought, you can be there. Mon says, I've seen the Jesse video in which he suggested exposure techniques. Is it necessary to go through this only technique? No, not necessarily. Depends on, where you are and what's needed. But if you ever wanted to go through such thing, then you can maybe reach out to a specialist, a therapist, so you will get the benefit of the specialist clinical psychologists, so they will know exactly how the procedure would be, so on. And Mona says Mehranjun is the best. Mona must be. Mona, is that the Mona that used to be with us all the time? And you haven't been around for years, am I correct? Or is it a new Mona? Because we did have a Mona that on my Facebook sometimes she would show up. No? Am I wrong? Are you a different Mona? And one-legged pigeon, and thank you for the heart, and heart back. One-legged pigeon says, thank you, Mehran. Sorry, I had a few cups of wine. I'm never getting drunk again, but you have helped me so much. You are a hidden gem on YouTube. The time and knowledge you provide us is gold. And so if that's the case, God damn it, one-legged pigeon, and every one of you, promote the damn channel. Channel is gonna die if people don't really find us and get advantage from the really good contents, as I'm sure you all say we have. So help us to expand. Put it on your Reddit, your social media. Talk about it in chat rooms. Promote the channel. Do something, guys. Honestly, this channel will not survive. Look, 22,000. It doesn't do anything economically. And if we want to survive and have better programs, like really spend more time, we need exposure. We need, subscribers and so on. And for that, we need your help to introduce us. And Mona says, yes, Mona, Sonia. There is Sonia. That's my girl. Where have you been? Have you been good? Everything okay with you? Says Mona from London. Yes, I thought so. And Mona says, yes, you're right. Okay, good. Well, why you haven't shown up? We're only useful when you break up or something. Then after that, we're no good anymore. You guys like us only when you're in trouble. Should I be praying for you guys to be in trouble in order to pay attention to the channel that you so much like? I'm giving you a hard time, am I not? All right. No, I'm delighted that you're here. It gives us a beautiful energy. Someone who's been with us a long time, always kind, loving, and gracious and positive. So thank you for being here. Atif says, hi, Mehran, 38, New York City, male. So good to see you. Thank you for that, Atif. And Jeremy Bailey says, 38, male, UK. Says, male UK, 38, male UK. Guys, life is too short to worry about if someone thinks you're gay. That's right. If they know you, then they know whether you are gay or not. If they don't know you, then who gives a shit what they think? There we go. That's my boy. Thank you for that, Jeremy. Good for you. All right. Now, looks like it's time for me to, end the live stream before my neighbor comes and knocks on my door instead of the wall. So we don't want to make her uncomfortable. So it's time for me to say tomorrow at 1 o'clock Vancouver time, 1 p.m. Vancouver time, we'll have our regular live stream. I just did an extra one tonight. And tomorrow night at 9 p.m. we try to have one for India and that neck of the wood, Australia and so on. So hopefully we will end it by 11 p.m. and there would be no knocking on the wall. All right, guys. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the chance to share a thing or two with you. And thank for all the super chats and thank for the love and all the attention, and hope that it's been enjoyable for you, and look forward to talk to you again, hopefully tomorrow at 1 p.m. Vancouver time, and tomorrow at 9 p.m. for the Asia, Australia, and that neck of the wood, as it is tonight, perhaps, at 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So 1 o'clock p.m. and 9 p.m. Vancouver time tomorrow. And one-legged says, okay then. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.